Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
We now begin the dedication ceremony. To begin with, Sri Madhu Pandit Dasa, President and Project Director, will deliver the welcome and introductory address.
Your Excellency Dr. Shanker Dayal Sharma, Srimati Sharma, Your Excellency Sri Khurshid Khan, Honorable Sri J.H. Patel, Honorable Sri Ramakrishna Hegde, Honorable Sri R.V. Deshpande, Honorable Sri Mahadevappa, Sri Anand Kumar, Sri Indubai Patel, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami and His Holiness Lokanatha Swami. 100 years ago, a great personality appeared in this land of Bharata, and he became the greatest expounder of Vedic conclusion of love of God throughout the world. History has forever recorded the glory of the pure and selfless service to mankind by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. Today, the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Center for Advancement of Culture will be dedicated to the cause of promotion of Vedic culture and spiritual learning in honor of the centennial of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and history will etch another glorious chapter on this unparalleled saint and preacher. I am overwhelmed at the unique gathering of the stalwart leaders of society here, who have put aside their activities and have come to Hare Krishna Hill to pay their respects to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. This indicates their feeling of responsibility for deeper values. The example of the leaders of this caliber can be followed for the welfare of all. It is said in Gita, Yadat acharati shreshta tatat evataro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokas tad anuvartate. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. With deep feelings of happiness, I am honored to welcome the esteemed guests to the dedication ceremony of the Center for Advancement of Culture. First, I would like to welcome His Excellency, the President of India, Dr. Shanker Dayal Sharma and Srimati Vimala Sharma. I request the youngest devotee on Hare Krishna Hill to offer prasadam garlands to His Excellency and Srimati Sharma. Finally, I'd like to welcome His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, Governing Body Commissioner and Guru of ISKCON. I request His Holiness is one of the senior-most disciples of Srila Prabhupada. He took to sannyas order at the early age of 21 and has since then been preaching extensively in India and abroad. An Indian citizen, His Holiness speaks fluent Bengali and is very much at home with all aspects of Indian culture. He travels tirelessly around the world, preaching the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu around the world. Next, I'd like to welcome His Holiness Lokanatha Swami, who is also a governing body commissioner and guru of ISKCON. He is also a senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada. His Holiness has been conducting Padayatra personally, walking thousands and thousands of kilometers, not only in India, but he has covered Padayatra around the world to create an awareness of Indian spiritual culture. Now, world will now witness the most auspicious event of honoring a pure devotee of the Lord. Thank you very much.
Next, I request His Holiness Jayapataka Swami to speak.
First, I offer my respectful obeisances to my beloved spiritual master, His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. With respectful greetings and prayers for good health and long life to Your Excellency Dr. Shanker Dayal Sharma, the President of India, and the First Lady, Your Excellency Sri Khurshid Alam Khan, Governor of Karnataka, the Honorable Sri J.H. Patel, Chief Minister of Karnataka, Honorable former Chief Minister of Karnataka, Sri Ramakrishna Hedge, and all the other guests of honor to this auspicious ceremony. We at ISKCON are indeed greatly honored that His Excellency Dr. Shanker Dayal Sharma, the President of India, is present with us today in order to dedicate the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Center for Advancement of Culture in the remembrance and honor of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the Founder-Acarya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, on the auspicious occasion of his birth centennial. This Center for the Advancement of Culture is named after Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, since he has given the greatest gift to the world. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has brought the pinnacle of human development and consciousness, something previously available only to a select few of society, within the reach of every common man, regardless of their caste, creed, color, nationality, gender, etc. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu divinely appeared only 5 centuries ago in Sri Mayapur Dham of Bengal. And he extensively spread his message of love throughout India. He taught that everyone should protect and purify their consciousness from the degradations and evils of this age of Kali by congregationally chanting the names of Krishna or God, known as Sankirtan Yajna. Sri Chaitanya taught that this process sublimely awakens the deep inner spiritual culture inherent in all beings, and thus one can easily become a true lover of God. Not with a limited love, but a universal love through which one sees the Lord along with all living entities and energies of the universe as his integral parts and parcels. Thus one achieves true universal respect and love for all beings and nature through Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's vision. This is accepted today by noble thinkers, scientists, and religionists alike as the key for creating a new, sustainable world order that is required for our future preservation. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada fulfills a great prediction. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu limited his personal preaching to India, he predicted that his message of divine culture and love would one day spread to every town and village of the world. Prativite ache joto nagaradi gram, sarvatra pracharite hoive mor nam. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted that one of his true followers would spread this message of bhakti throughout the world. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, known also as Srila Prabhupada, was chosen by the divine will to fulfill this historic prophecy of Sri Chaitanya by taking the Krishna Consciousness movement to all continents and most countries of the world in the short span of 12 years. Srila Prabhupada should be considered as a great cultural and spiritual ambassador of India. When he spoke the science of Bhagavad Gita or the Bhagavad Dharma, he did not present it in a sectarian way, nor did he present it as an armchair philosophy meant only for discussion and contemplation, but as something vital for the welfare and upliftment of society, to be practiced actively and to be given freely to others. Srila Prabhupada saw that within Indian culture lied the secrets to universal truths and higher absolute reality. Within the great literatures of India like Bhagavad Gita, unparalleled knowledge of universal principles of karma, of the spiritual equality of mankind, of God as the source of everything, of forgotten histories of the universe, and countless other areas of human wisdom. He never considered the Puranas and Vedas as mythology or imagination. Through the books that he painstakingly wrote in his advanced age, and through the lectures he gave in different cities and universities of the world, Srila Prabhupada significantly changed the way the world looked at India and Indian Vedic heritage to a degree that is astounding. Srila Prabhupada founded the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in 1966, known also as ISKCON, in order to preserve the essential culture of India and propagate it throughout the world. Since ISKCON has been associated inseparably with the practice of chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, or the Maha Mantra, today ISKCON is known around the world as the Hare Krishna movement. May it be known on this joyous occasion that over 500 million books on Vedic culture were of Srila Prabhupada's translation and writing have been sold in the world since the movement's inception. Although Srila Prabhupada was such a great scholar, literary genius, dynamic spiritual leader, with hundreds of thousands of followers around the world, although he single-handedly established a flourishing worldwide movement without compromise on the original principles, he implanted in the West a new religious system and delivered to them the deepest truth of Indian spirituality. Srila Prabhupada, out of his humility, preferred not to promote himself. Rather, Srila Prabhupada preferred to glorify Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Sri Krishna. This centennial celebration provides us all an opportunity to give a befitting appreciation to this great personality, to this great son of India. The Srila Prabhupada's vision for India, Srila Prabhupada's vision was that India as a country should provide cultural and spiritual leadership for the world. He had the wisdom and character to forcefully declare to the people in the West that they were suffering from anxiety, distress, moral and cultural degradation due to their being a misdirected civilization, preoccupied with the material welfare of the society, but neglecting the essential spiritual dimension of man. So Srila Prabhupada, he said, just as we have in India the two sisters, Saraswati and Lakshmi, that the West may be having a lot of the Lakshmi or economic development, but to have a full human development in the world, we also need the Saraswati. And therefore, culture is the way for India to give the world what it needs today. So Srila Prabhupada, in several of his lectures to the leaders in the West, he repeatedly mentioned that he had come to the West not to beg or take anything, but to give them the benefit of this Vedic system, wisdom, to save them from the perils of a godless, atheistic, impersonal, materialistic civilization. So how can we even begin to assess the contribution of a personality like Srila Prabhupada to the cause of rejuvenating and preserving Vedic culture in the world? Unfortunately, in India today, due to the westernization of Indian education system and the overall westernization of the environment, we see how the cream of our youth are often becoming victims of moral and spiritual degradation some of whom are even taking to drug addiction and abuse. We see how the institution of marriage is losing its sanctity due to the unrestricted intermingling among men and women in our educational institutions. We see how the frustration and dissatisfaction among the youth is driving tens of thousands of them to irrationally take their own lives in suicide. Due to neglect of Vedic cultural values and lack of understanding of the higher purpose of life, the youth of the country are fast becoming misdirected. The special mission of this Center for Advancement of Culture is to imbibe within the youth of India a feeling of pride and esteem in their own great history, heritage, and culture. In fact, Srila Prabhupada's unprecedented success inspiring people, young people especially, to take to a Vedic way of life surprised many historians, intelligence, and governments around the world. Today our mission is to help in forming the youth of India as future world leaders to create peace, harmony, and a higher purpose to life in India and the world. In conclusion here in Bangalore, although ISKCON had a very humble beginning with only a 2-room rented house, we'd always wanted to have a facility to be able to serve the people here. Things began to happen when the government under the chief ministership of Sri Ramakrishna Hedge granted ISKCON the 7-acre hillock, which was in fact an abandoned stony hillock. Today, after 7 years, we look back and we see that by the hard efforts here of the devotees and the members of the congregation, they have taken this uneven, stony, irregularly shaped land and have created this wonderful facility for the upliftment and preservation of culture. The architecture blend of traditional temple elements with modern technological facilities shows the new India where we can have a synthesis of everything. So compelled very strongly by this vision to fulfill the dream of our Founder-Acarya, ISKCON local devotees here, they have given their heart to this project. The 26 crore temple and complex which stands here today with its elaborate infrastructure and facilities is truly a center to promote the advancement of human culture. We are also hoping that we're sure that the full support that we have got here from all of the local donors will continue to come for the final completion of the few details there. So the mission statement given by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada is to give human society the opportunity for a life of happiness, good health, peace of mind, and development of all good qualities through God consciousness. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Founder-Acarya, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This is for the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Center for Advancement of Culture. Hare Krishna.
Next, I request His Excellency, the President of India, Dr. Shanker Dayal Sharma, to deliver his dedication address.
His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Ji, His Holiness Lokanatha Swami Ji, Shri Hurridala Khan, Governor of Karnataka, Shri Jayat Patel, Chief Minister of Karnataka, Shri R.K. Hegde, MP and former Chief Minister of Karnataka, Shri R.V. Deshpande, Minister for Medium and Large-Scale Industries, Dr. A.C. Mahadevappa, Minister for Health, Shri Anant Kumar, Member of Parliament, Shri I.G. Sanadi, Member of Parliament, Shri Alladi P. Rajkumar, Member of Parliament, Shri Madhu Pandit Das, Director of the project, the scholars and devotees. It gives me immense pleasure to associate myself with the inauguration of the Center for Advancement of Culture of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Here in Bangalore, this magnificent complex, a blend of tradition and modernity, is a symbol of the dedication and devotion of ISKCON to the cause of bhakti and service. It's an architectural landmark, and I congratulate all those who have worked tirelessly to set up this splendid edifice. ISKCON has spread the message of bhakti throughout the world. Over the years, the society has provided relief and succor and has brought peace and harmony into the lives of millions of people. It has grown and flourished in many countries and continents. On the occasion of the birth centenary of the founder of ISKCON, Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, I pay my tributes to his enlightened soul. I had the good fortune of having his darshan. Following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, with determination and devotion, has propagated the message of our ethos of peace and harmony. In today's world, there appears to be a relentless and single-minded pursuit of material wealth and prosperity. Though it has resulted in an improvement in the standards of living of people, particularly the so-called developed Western countries, the spiritual needs, requirements and aspirations are yet to be met. Material wealth has not necessarily brought happiness and peace of mind. Instead, it has been accompanied by considerable mental stress and tensions and has led to a spiral of insatiable greed and desires which remain unfulfilled. We find it in the United States of America. So there was a prosperity, but they have missed peace. The pursuit of hedonistic pleasures with no regard to the needs of other people, especially those who are less privileged, has brought in its wake discord, discontent and disharmony. It's in such a context that a tradition with its philosophy of love, compassion, non-violence and service has acquired new meaning, relevance and significance. The approach of bhakti or devotion, not merely to God, but to all beings who belong to God, and of selfless service has been preached by our seers and saint singers from remote antiquity. The Bhakti movement has flourished in every part of India. The songs of the Alvars and teachings of Sri Ramanujacharya and Sri Madhavacharya in the south, the bhajans of Sudas, Sant Kabir, Mirabai in the north, the abhangs of Sant Tukaram, Sant Gyaneshwar in the west, and the kirtans of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shanker Dayal and Madhav Dev in the east are still sung and recited in millions of homes. In eastern India, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated the idea of oneness of man before God. Bhakti to God manifested itself in love, compassion and service. He did not recognize any barriers of caste or creed. The repeated chanting of the divine name, individually and collectively, was one of the paths of salvation. His Shiksha Ashtak, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sings, Shiksha Ashtak. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nisarvashaktis Prapita Niyavita Smarane Nakala. God has expressed His own name in the various ways also. He has bestowed all His powers in that name. Nathanam Nathanam Sundari Kavita Vajagdishaka Vaye Mama Janmani Janmanishware Vata Bhakti Retu Visware. O Lord of the earth, I do not pray for earthly desires. My only prayer is, God, let my unqualified devotion be to you in all my births. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's kirtans are sung in thousands of devotees, not merely in India, but due to the efforts of ISKCON throughout the world. The Bhakti Marg propagated by Srila Prabhupada has struck a sympathetic chord among people which has resonated across the oceans and continents. Swamiji's approach is remarkable for its simplicity. It is not a rigid, ritualistic or merely intellectual approach. It is a personal initiative, emotional faith, based on a passionate love and adoration of the Lord. This is reflected in the singing of kirtans and in living a good and decent life, in harmony with oneself, with society and with nature. Srila Mahaprabhu's work has given new meaning and direction to the lives of thousands of people. In India, the activities of ISKCON are rekindling the latent knowledge and awareness among our own people of our great spiritual and cultural heritage. I believe deeply in our efforts of modernization and growth. We must never forget the philosophy of humanism of our civilization. There can be no real progress and prosperity. There can be no balanced material and spiritual development unless and until poorest of the poor and the weakest of the weak in our country prospers and progresses. This can happen only by reinstilling among our people the moral and ethical values of our ethos of love and devotion, compassion and selfless service. Only by helping others can we achieve true happiness and balance in our lives. It is vital for us to pay heed to this profound message of our tradition. It's the values and ideals of our ethos which must empower our efforts for peace, harmony, progress, prosperity in our society. We must take this message, particularly the youth of our country, since it is in this generation which will shape and guide the destiny of a great nation. I am confident that a new complex with these facilities for the propagation of our ancient culture and spiritual heritage will strengthen the roots of our people in our civilization and hence contribute to national progress. With these words, I have great pleasure in inaugurating the Center for Advancement of Culture of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. I wish the Center many years of fruitful endeavor in the service of society and all success.
Now we request His Holiness Jayapataka Swami to invite His Excellency to formally proclaim the dedication of the center by reading the dedication plaque and placing it before Srila Prabhupada.
Read out the plaque. You have to just read the plaque.
I dedicate the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Center for Advancement of Culture for the promotion of Vedic culture and spiritual learning in honor of His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada on the occasion of his centennial.
We also request His Excellency to press the button to unveil the plaque. Next we request His Holiness Jayapataka Swami and His Holiness Lokanatha Swami to present the mementos and prasadam, mahaprasadam to the chief guest. Next we request His Holiness Lokanatha Swami to give the vote of thanks.
ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासुदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। I get the sweet job of thanking everyone here. I would like to thank first and foremost their lordships Sri Sri Radha Krishna Chandra, we start with thanking God. Thank God. And all other presiding deities of this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Center of Advancement of Culture. City of Bangalore, which is, you all know, is known as Garden City. It is also known as the Electronic City. We are confident that soon this will also become known as place of pilgrimage by the presence of the lordships in Bangalore City. It was our wish of leaders and all the devotees, that the first citizen of this great nation, the President of India, attend at least one of the global centennial events, and that wish has been fulfilled today. And for that I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to him on behalf of all the members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, whose Founder-Acarya is His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I understand that His Excellency Dr. Shanker Dayal Sharma had personally met Srila Prabhupada. His Excellency during his world travels has witnessed the expansion of the Hare Krishna movement founded by Srila Prabhupada. His Excellency has many of the books compiled by Srila Prabhupada, and he admires them very much. He has appropriately described Srila Prabhupada as enlightened soul. We thank him for this appreciation. The diagnosis of the state of humanity at large, and the contemporary Indians in particular, made by His Excellency, and his prescription of repeated chanting of divine names, which we call them as Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, is something that ISKCON's founder and followers are fully in agreement with. We highly appreciate His Excellency's glorification of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and pointing the relevance of Chaitanya's kirtans, which are only remedy for the present day ills. We have taken note of His Excellency's statement that this complex, with its facilities for propagation of ancient culture and spiritual heritage, will strengthen the roots of people in our civilization and hence contribute to national progress. On behalf of ISKCON devotees and dedicated followers, I would like to assure His Excellency that we will not spare any efforts to meet that cherished goal of strengthening the roots of our people. It becomes obvious from His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj's mission statement, which he just read, that ISKCON has been already on the job and is promising to rededicate itself for the genuine progress and prosperity of the weakest of the weak in the country by healthy balance of material and spiritual development. I would like to once again thank His Excellency Dr. Sharmaji and Mrs. Vimal Sharma for inaugurating ISKCON Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Center for Advancement of Culture and dedicating it to service of this glorious nation. And now I would like to thank the Governor of Karnataka, Sri Khurshid Alam Khan, and Honorable Chief Minister J.H. Patel for having graced this occasion on the day of the opening of the national games in the city. I think Governor and the Chief Minister, they both get the credit for sponsoring these games. This must be busiest day of their life, but they are here today. We thank them. I would like to take this opportunity also to thank Sri Indu Bai Patel and Sri Ram Krishna Hegde, as Jayapataka Maharaj already mentioned, who helped us greatly in getting allotment of this land on which we have built this complex. And this land now has become Hare Krishna Hills. They are both our good old friends. We thank them. I would like to thank Sri R.V. Deshpande, Minister of Industries, and Sri Mahadevappa, Minister for Health, for taking time out of their busy schedule and being with us on this occasion. And we cannot afford to forget you, patrons and friends who are sitting in the audience, for your generous contributions. We had land, but we are penniless, and we approached you, and you have generously given us lots of contribution, and not a single penny has come out of Bangalore. Everything was collected in Bangalore to build this complex. So you all must be thanked. Otherwise we would have just a land and we would be just sitting and chanting Hare Krishna here. So thank you, all of you. Thank you, everyone on the dais. And I'm sorry if I have forgotten or couldn't mention because someone is pushing me here. Hare Krishna.
Next, we request His Excellency to go over to the multimedia theater on the ground floor.
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna